In the wake of Tina Turner's passing, fans and critics are reflecting on the remarkable legacy she left behind. Her influence reached far beyond her contributions to music and pop culture. She was also an iconic figure for her courage in speaking openly about domestic abuse, a subject that was largely taboo during much of her life. Born Anna Mae Bullock in 1939, Tina Turner experienced severe physical and emotional abuse during her marriage to Ike Turner, her first husband and musical partner. Their relationship, which spanned over a decade, was characterized by a dynamic of control, violence, and manipulation. Despite the glamorous public image they portrayed on stage, their personal lives were marked by immense suffering. This reality, which Tina later revealed to the world, became a crucial turning point in public conversations about domestic violence. Her willingness to share her story not only highlighted the horrific abuse she endured, but also brought visibility to the issue of domestic violence, changing the narrative for countless survivors. Behind their electrifying performances and chart-topping hits, Tina Turner was trapped in a marriage that stifled her creativity and robbed her of her freedom. Ike's control over her extended beyond their professional relationship, intruding into every aspect of her personal life. But it was Tina's decision to leave that ultimately became the defining moment of her life. In 1976, she fled the abusive relationship, leaving behind everything except her name. The legal battle that followed left her financially devastated. However, her determination to reclaim her life and rebuild her career from scratch turned her into not just a musical legend, but a cultural icon. Tina Turner's story of reinvention wasn't just about survival, it was about triumph. After leaving Ike, she had almost no financial resources and few prospects. Yet, she embarked on a tireless journey to rebuild her career, which led to the release of her monumental solo album, Private Dancer, in 1984. This album, which featured the smash hit What's Love Got to Do with It, catapulted her into global stardom. Despite all the odds and societal expectations placed on her after the collapse of her abusive marriage, Tina didn't just survive, she thrived. Throughout the rest of her life, Tina Turner continued to speak openly about the abuse she endured, using her platform to advocate for survivors. In one of her final interviews, published by British Vogue, she reflected on the pain of revisiting her traumatic past, but also spoke about the peace she found in the life she built after her divorce. In candid conversations with The Guardian, she emphasized the strength it took to leave Ike and the personal sacrifices she made to carve out a new life for herself. She credited her spirituality and resilience for helping her overcome the darkness that once consumed her life. Tina Turner's decision to confront her trauma head-on not only helped her heal, but provided a voice for millions of women who had long been silenced by shame, fear, or societal stigma. For her, escaping Ike's abuse was about more than physical separation. It was about reclaiming her emotional well-being, forgiving herself, and learning how to live freely and joyfully. Through her advocacy, Turner helped dismantle the silence surrounding domestic abuse, transforming her pain into a message of strength and hope for others. As a result, Tina Turner's legacy extends beyond her extraordinary musical accomplishments. Her courage in confronting her past and sharing her experiences openly set a powerful precedent for how public figures can use their platforms for advocacy. Tina didn't just want to be remembered as an entertainer, she wanted to be a voice for those who had been silenced by their suffering. She became a beacon of hope and resilience for women and men alike, showing that it was possible to rise above adversity and reclaim one's life. In 2018, Tina's life story was further immortalized in Tina, the Tina Turner musical, a stage production chronicling her journey from her humble beginnings as Anna Mae Bullock to her reign as the Queen of Rock and Roll. Initially, Turner was hesitant to revisit the painful parts of her life for the musical. She admitted to The Guardian that she didn't want to relive the trauma she experienced with Ike Turner. However, after much consideration, she decided to support the project, recognizing that it wasn't just about her own healing, it was about inspiring others to rise above their own challenges. Her decision to actively participate in the creation of the musical reflected her commitment to reclaiming her narrative. Tina understood the power of owning her story and wanted to ensure that the musical depicted her journey accurately and authentically. For years, her life had been subject to media speculation, and by working closely on the musical, she had control over how her story was told. The production became another way for her to continue sharing her truth, ensuring that the legacy she left behind was one of empowerment and resilience. Tina's involvement in the musical also allowed her to revisit parts of her life that had been misunderstood or oversimplified in previous retellings, such as the 1993 biopic What's Love Got to Do with It? While the film was an important piece of her story, bringing it to a global audience, the musical gave her a chance to present a more nuanced and layered depiction of her life. It was another testament to her strength, showing the world that Tina Turner was more than just a survivor. She was the architect of her own legacy. Turner's hands-on role in the musical demonstrated her desire for control over the details of her life, a life that had once been shaped by others. By embracing this new chapter of storytelling, she ensured that her voice remained central to her own narrative. Her participation was about more than sharing her story. It was about reclaiming it on her terms. In doing so, she turned her past pain into a message of empowerment that continues to resonate with audiences around the world. The musical, which has become a global sensation, captivates audiences with its raw portrayal of Tina's journey. From her early struggles to her ascent to stardom, the show highlights her resilience and strength. Each performance serves as a reminder of her extraordinary ability to turn tragedy into triumph, offering hope and inspiration to countless individuals who have faced similar struggles. Even as Tina Turner neared the later stages of her life, she never shied away from discussing her past experiences with domestic violence. In one powerful interview, she reflected on the emotional toll it took to revisit her painful memories for the stage adaptation of her life, yet she found closure in retelling her story. Turner's involvement in these projects showed her desire to use her past, however painful, to inspire others and continue her advocacy for survivors of abuse. Her relationship with Ike Turner was a chapter marked by unimaginable abuse, but by leaving that relationship, she rewrote the story of her life. When their divorce was finalized in 1978, Tina walked away from their marriage with nothing except her stage name and 36 cents in her pocket. Yet, that moment became symbolic of her resilience. She would go on to rebuild her career, create iconic music, and become a symbol of strength for people around the world. Tina's journey from abuse to empowerment was not easy, but she rose above the challenges and became an unstoppable force. Whether it was her electrifying performances or her advocacy for survivors, Tina Turner's life was one of indomitable strength and courage. Her legacy will continue to inspire future generations to find their voice and live their truth, just as she did. As fans around the globe come to terms with this profound loss, details of Turner's funeral arrangements have been officially announced. According to her representatives, the service will be an intimate and private affair, limited to her immediate family and close friends. In an official statement, Turner's spokesperson revealed, there will be a private funeral ceremony attended by close friends and family, ensuring that the focus remains on honoring her life and legacy in a personal setting. Tina Turner, renowned for her powerful voice and electrifying performances, is best known for her iconic hits such as What's Love Got to Do with It? Despite her immense success, Turner faced numerous health challenges throughout her life. During the height of her career, she courageously opened up about her struggles, including a stroke, cancer, and kidney failure, which required a life-saving transplant in 2017. In a recent documentary about her life, she shared the harrowing reality of her health issues, revealing that they were so severe at one point that she contemplated ending her life. However, her husband, Irvin Bach, selflessly donated one of his kidneys to save her. In addition to her physical challenges, Turner also grappled with the emotional scars of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, stemming from the domestic abuse she suffered during her first marriage to Ike Turner. This added to the weight of her struggles as she faced a series of personal tragedies. Just before her passing, she endured the heartbreaking loss of her second child. If one were hard-pressed to pick a song from Tina Turner's hit catalog that most aptly chronicled her life, the titular metaphors of River Deep Day, Mountain High would rank highly on that list. It underscores the peaks and valleys of this Tennessee chanteuse, from her humble childhood picking cotton to becoming one of the most successful female singers in the biz. Credit that whiskey-soaked voice for animating classic tunes from Proud Mary to Private Dancer and captivating listeners by expressing pain one moment and empowerment the next. While some viewers may have treated Turner's trademark stiletto-rooted skyscraper gams as eye candy, let's not forget that those same legs whisked her from an abusive marriage to a life of uncertainty that would eventually reward her with freedom and success. A rigid work ethic hammered into her since childhood, and the hardships she faced during those precarious days of the Ike and Tina Turner Review also toughened Turner considerably. When she discovered that U.S. audiences treated her like a retro novelty, she headed to a more appreciative scene in England to engineer her comeback. The results speak for themselves, with Turner being rewarded with sales of more than 150 million records, 12 Grammy Awards, and a personal fortune estimated at $250 million. The youngest of three children, Tina Turner first entered the world as Anna Mae Bullock on November 26, 1939, in Brownsville, Tennessee. Her father, Floyd Richard Bullock, had stable employment working for a sharecropper and was their hometown church's deacon. But life at home was hardly idyllic, with Floyd frequently fighting with his strong-willed wife, Zelma Priscilla. The toxicity didn't do much for Anna, who was reportedly treated like the result of a failed marriage. Zelma left for good when Anna was just 10, and Floyd later cultivated a new romantic relationship, eventually leaving the household and the children to be cared for by their Aunt Georgie. "It was just a fact that my parents didn't care that much for me," Turner told Rolling Stone in 1986. "See, my mother didn't want me in the first place. She had taken my father away from another girl, which is instant karma right there. She was in the process of leaving my father when she got pregnant with me." Meanwhile, young Anna developed an aptitude for singing, something she enjoyed in church and music class in high school. "I did love singing and dancing as a child, and everyone told me how much they enjoyed hearing me sing," Turner said to the Harvard Business Review in 2021. "But I never thought much of becoming a professional singer until I was older." That would change when her aunt died, prompting the kids to be moved to a cousin's place. At 13, Anna Mae Bullock, the woman who would eventually evolve into Tina Turner, found herself abandoned by both of her parents, leaving her, sister Aline Bullock, and half-sister Evelyn Juanita Curry under the care of their cousin, Ella Vera. According to Mark Bego's biography, Tina Turner, Break Every Rule, Anna was close to Aline, yet had a far more distant relationship with Evelyn, the oldest of the three, who apparently preferred hanging with adults than her younger siblings. Still, when she received the news that Evelyn and her cousin, Margaret Evans, with whom she heavily bonded after her relocation, had died in a car accident, Anna apparently fainted. Later, viewing their bodies, she came to grips with the insensitivity of death. The funeral home had them both there together, and Evelyn didn't even look like herself, wrote Turner in her Tina, My Life Story autobiography. Her skull, her whole face was crushed in, just about smashed flat, but her hair was the same. It was so strange. Inexplicably, aside from a few paragraphs in her tome, Turner rarely, if ever, publicly mentioned the existence of her half-sister once her singing career caught fire. But she's spoken volumes about Aline, who eventually enjoyed a stable songwriting career and who dressed Anna up one night to sneak her underage sister into a St. Louis nightclub to catch a popular local act called Ike Turner and the Kings of Rhythm, whose bandleader would change her life. Growing up in Tennessee while still known as Anna, Tina Turner recalled experiencing instances of racism, including having to go through rear entrances of local businesses while her white counterparts could access the same establishment from the street. "It hurts to be a minority," she said to Rolling Stone in 1986. "I am looked down upon because I'm Black. It's forever. It's like a curse on you." Racism continued to dog her in her professional life after hooking up with Ike Turner's band.